Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nayri, also known as Wedding Fashion Expert. This week we are in Lovella Bridal covering a subscriber requested topic of the difference in colors of wedding dresses. I'm going to break down all the color options and things that you should keep in mind when you are selecting what color to order your wedding dress in. Before we dive into this week's topic, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know if there's any particular topics or videos you'd like me to create for you. I am here for you, guiding you along the way leading up to your special day. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. I am so honored that you have found me. I am, of course, a wedding fashion expert, stylist, buyer, wear so many different hats at Lovella Bridal located in Los Angeles, California. For daily content, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Lovella Bridal, at Lovella Plus, and at Wedding Fashion Expert. You can now subscribe for exclusive weekly content on my Instagram account at Wedding Fashion Expert, so be sure to go ahead and do that. Lastly, follow us on TikTok for daily content at Lovella Bridal and at Wedding Fashion Expert. I am, of course, wearing a dress that is in a more champagne color with silver beading. We have this exact same dress in a plus size that is all ivory on ivory. Before I bring that dress out, I just want to cover some details about colors of wedding dresses. There are some designers that do not offer any options in colors of gowns. So the color you see is what you get. They only offer it in the color that they feel the gown looks best in. Another component to consider is that a lot of dress colors have really interesting names. So we have dresses that are called vanilla in color, champagne, rum, ivory, off-white, so many different things. And I can show you so many dresses in store that are considered ivory or off-white. That's what the designer calls the color, and they appear more champagne. So the very first thing to consider is I do not want you to get hung up on the name that the color of the dress is called. Don't worry about what the designer identifies the fabric as. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, look in photos. If you love the color of that dress, that's the color you go for. Almost on a weekly basis at Lovella, I have a bride who orders a dress, panics on the color because she may have seen on the invoice that it says ivory or off-white. And traditionally, we all assume that bridal gowns are supposed to be white. I have news for you. There is not one dress in Lovella that we have that is white. Every single dress we have is off-white, ivory, or has color to it like the dress that you see that I'm in right now. You might be wondering why that is. Again, these terms and names of colors are just used to identify fabrics for the designer, so the designer knows what fabric they're making the dress in. Some of our designers who offer changes of color in dresses, they do offer dresses in what they would identify the color as white. We do not order the white. The designers that offer dresses in white, the dress is so white that it's almost blue, and it's actually very harsh and it doesn't necessarily look good on everyone's skin tone. Have I had brides order dresses in white because they really, really wanted the stark, stark white? Yes. Does it happen often? No. Are most brides really happy with it? 50-50. Some brides love it. Some brides are absolutely hysterical when they see the color, because this is another area that you need to consider. When you take photos of you in the dress, photo, video, when you're shopping, you are staring at that image, that video, for 6 to 8 months on average until your gown arrives. So even at the time of when you place the order, if you change the color, now you're sitting and looking at the color that you tried on, and your eye ends up warming up to that. And then you get the dress in the new color that you hadn't seen yet, unless it's a situation like what I'm in where we have the dress in this color and we have it in a different size in another color that you concretely can see. If you have not seen it, oftentimes more brides than less are disappointed in the color that they get their dress in because their eye has now adapted in photos of the sample that they had originally tried on. We typically buy the dresses for our inventory in the colors that the designer recommends or we feel it is the most flattering. You might be asking yourself, why is there so much champagne, light pinks, nudes, contrast in wedding dresses? We have found with photography and video, dresses have a tendency to photograph and look better when there is a darker color underneath because you're able to see more contrast of the lace or the beading, and there's a little bit more depth and dimension. Everything also photographs and videos much lighter than what you see in person. So in person, it may look a little bit darker, but when you translate it on camera and various different lights, it actually lightens. That's also why we don't do white. It gets completely washed out. So even the ivory, I promise you, it looks white. So I'm going to show you the ivory version of this dress, and I promise you, on camera, it is going to look white. Let me go grab that dress for you. Here is the exact same dress. So as I mentioned in the beginning, this particular champagne color does have silver beading on it. So the beading does change. Oftentimes, a lot of the dresses, if it's ivory beading, it's just the undertone underneath that you're changing. So this is a very drastic example, but I wanted you all to be able to see the difference on how the detail translates in video and photo. This dress is considered ivory. It is not called white. It's called ivory, but it looks white. This is why I tell you to ignore the names of the color that I use to identify the dresses, because if you love the way this looks in photo and video and on your skin tone, you go with this. If you prefer this, then you go with that. I do, however, always recommend ordering the dress in the color you see it in to prevent any disappointment on the back end when your dress does come in store. If you have any further questions, please be sure to drop me a comment below. I'm happy to clarify anything that's mentioned in this video or other videos. I'm always here for you. For more videos and tips like these, tune in every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I will see you in next week's video.